Through this course, I was able to just get a whole bunch of different perspectives on what my life can be and what I can achieve.
The model we use at Executive Development is very different. When we plan these programs with an awareness of the current needs and especially the likely future needs of our executives.
Enlightening.
Humbling.
Amazing.
It has been amazing.
Enriching.
Life-changing. One word with a hyphen.
Lifelong learning is so important to your ability to grow as an executive.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to our certificate and award ceremony for 2024. By way of introduction and welcome, I would like to acknowledge our honored guests who are in attendance here this morning. Welcome to our CEO, Dr. Chris van der Werven, members of EXCO, and also our keynote speaker this morning, Wasiwe Nkomo. Further, also members of SPSA faculty and personnel, and of course, a very special and warm welcome to our company representatives present here this morning as well as family members and friends who are present. Finally, of course, the most important, our esteemed SPS 8 delegates. Today is all about you. We are here to celebrate your success. We hope that you take the time to savor the moments. You know, it's always on occasions such as this that I'm often reminded of the quote by Eric Hoffer, who said that in a time of change, it is the learners who inherit the future, the knowers who will find themselves equipped to live in a world that no longer exists. In the brag rail, Chris made mention of learning is not a destination. Learning is a lifelong journey. Here at SBS 8, we believe you'll embark on this journey with us, sharing our ambition to transform lives, develop people, and impact business and society. My name is Thijs Pretorius, and I'm honored to be your host this morning. Before I continue further, I would like to deal with a couple of housekeeping matters. Firstly, may I ask that you keep your videos going for as long and as much as possible. If you can further, please also just ensure that your sound is muted during all the formal proceedings. However, we do want to encourage you to unmute yourself and go wild during the certificate award procession. You're, of course, more than welcome to indicate your joy with the emojis. Please also do post comments in the chat. We do have one of our colleagues monitoring this. We do plan to have proceedings wrapped up by about 11:15, but please do not log off until that time. It's only about 2 hours. We do want to celebrate together, so please do stay on after your name has been called. In the chat, you will also find a link to the virtual background. Please do download this. It is included in the entrance fee. I think that about covers it. Yeah, I think that about covers it. I think we are now about ready to move on just to talk about the order of proceedings for this morning. The formal CEO's message from Dr. Chris van der Werven. Thereafter, Christine Chichikiri will welcome you to the Stellenbosch Business School Alumni Association. We then have the privilege of having Vusiwe Nkomo with a keynote address, and then the presentation of the various programs will follow thereafter. As I mentioned previously, please do stay online during the breaks, and please don't log off. In the spirit of Ubuntu, please celebrate with all the participants right up to the end. Don't sign off after your particular program next year or the year after. Your loved one will be attending the EDP, Executive Development Program, and I'm sure you will truly, fully appreciate full house during your certificate ceremony as well. As we begin, I would like to call upon Dr. Chris van der Werven to share with us his CEO's message. As Chris makes his way up to the stage, looking very handsome there this morning in his smashing maroon shirt, attire, please allow me to introduce Dr. Chris van der Werven. Chris has been CEO of the Stellenbosch Business School Executive Development since 2018. Previously, he was academic director at Wits Business School and a senior fellow at Cambridge University. With a BSc from UCT, and an MBA from Cranfield, and a PhD from Cambridge, Chris has taught at leading business schools all over the world, amongst them Stockholm, Kentucky, Nanjing. Chris specializes in strategy and innovation. He has extensive international experience, having worked with senior executives across 40 countries. Before moving into academia, Chris also worked in industry for an extended period of time. Chris, over to you.
Thank you very much, Thijs. I've just been having a bit, apart from laughing at Thijs's cracks, I was just having a chuckle at Ralph's comment about the tea and cookies, and just wanted to reassure you, Ralph, that there are definitely tea and cookies. It's just that they're virtual. So as long as you don't mind that, it's all good. Very nourishing. Don't worry. Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to add my very warm welcome to you all. And lest I forget, my very, very warmest congratulations on the attainment of this milestone. I'm delighted for you. I'm delighted for us. I'm very proud of some of the achievements that have happened. So wonderful time to celebrate. I think what I just wanted to share with you very briefly this morning is to say that this week I've been very lucky to attend a few award ceremonies, and on each occasion been able to say a few words. And my sort of theme through the week has been a reference to character. You know, the thing that doesn't sit on your CV. So if we're honest, a lot of us are are probably initially driven into a learning space because of the prospect of promotion, because of the prospect of a new and better job, because of the prospect of pivoting into something entrepreneurial. There's a kind of holy grail of marketability improvement that comes with the territory, and I think everybody gets that. And but what I do hope is that you come away with a slightly different orientation as well. Not that it's just about the mechanics of your career, but also it's about the trajectory of your life. So with your permission, I'll be a nerd just for a moment again, and cite David Brooks, who in 2015 wrote a book called The Road to Character. And in his opening paragraphs, he asks us to think a little bit about the difference between what he calls your resume virtues versus your eulogy virtues. So the difference being, what does it say on your CV when you apply for a job, as opposed to at the end of your life when somebody is setting out your eulogy and thinking about your life's trajectory and your contribution to friends, family, and community. What are the virtues that they cite in those circumstances? And at different stages of our life, we have different focuses as far as that is concerned. By the way, taking a moment just to stop and think that if you have got to this milestone, that actually all of us are very much still a work in progress. And so the very nice thing about all of this is we can draw a line up to this point and say, right, up to here, we have been this person, maybe working more on our resume virtues, and perhaps going forward, we ought to think a little bit about our eulogy virtues. What will people say about us in hindsight after we are gone? And that's whether that's your organization, whether it's the business you started, whether it's your friends that you play snooker with on Friday night, or your golf buddies on the weekend, or Claire, your cycling friends. What will they say once you are not there anymore? And I think that's there's an opportunity there to just take great comfort from the fact that we all recognize we're a work in progress, and we all progress at different rates, and that's very, very important. And then, again, if you'll permit me to be a nerd for a second, there were two extremely wise Japanese scholars, Takeuchi, Nonaka and Takeuchi, who authored a range of papers around knowledge management some years back, and they wrote a book called The Wise Company as well. And I was very taken with their work because years ago, a PhD student of mine was working on how do you translate knowledge in a market into a strategic plan? How does that process actually work? But another very big takeaway serendipitous takeaway from my having accessed all of that work was this notion of the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Because it's true of people and it's true of companies. You know, you can get your certificate today and it's a stamp of approval that you have the knowledge, but it's not automatically a stamp of approval that you have the wisdom. So if I was to think about it in communication terms, you might say, well, I know exactly what to say in this situation. But the question really should be, do I know whether to say it at all? Perhaps the fact that technically I know what to say is utterly irrelevant in the circumstances. So perhaps I shouldn't say this at all. Or alternatively, I know what to say, but is this the right time to say it? So timing is another way of thinking about communication. So knowing what to say is the knowledge part. Knowing when or whether to say it is the wisdom part. And that wisdom is something that comes with a whole range of different elements. And I won't go into the detail, just to add another layer of academia onto this, as if you needed any more of that. The Nonaka and Takeuchi talk about the phronetic leader. This is not a random buzzword that I just made up on the fly. The phronetic leader is a label that they have used. And you don't have to worry about the details of that. You're very welcome to go and read it all up. You're more than capable of doing that. But what is important to say is that the frenetic leader is the leader that has the technical knowledge, but also has the wisdom in the application of that knowledge. And in essence is a pro-social being. In other words, is making sure that we leave the world having made a net contribution to our society, to our environment, to the people around us. And so that when you get to the point that you are having someone expound your eulogy virtues, that's essentially where that body of work will have been generated, as long as you are onto it early enough. And for many people, that comes very early in their lives. For some of us, we sort of latch onto that very much later. But I hope your learning journey with Stellenbosch Business School has kind of alerted you to, this is not just about a technical exercise. It's also a moral, ethical wisdom exercise. So I leave you with that thought. And once again, my warm congratulations to all of you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Tace.
Chris, thank you very much for those words of wisdom. I'm often reminded that our greatest struggles are actually the struggles we have in our own minds. Yeah, and if we can get that sorted out, life's a charm. We now have the pleasure to move on, and well, as you walk across this, as participants, as delegates, as you walk across this virtual stage this morning, you will also be joining the Stellenbosch Business School alumni. This is both a privilege and an achievement, I have to admit. Our alumni network is made up of almost 32,000 students or graduates across 16 chapters who have achieved success in managerial and leadership positions across the globe. The vision of SPS and SPS is to build our brand and to offer the most desirable alumni association in Africa. To tell you a little bit more about this exciting opportunity and to welcome you to our Alumni Association, I'm going to call upon Christine Chichikere. Christine, good to see you there. Just by way of introduction, I would like to tell you a little bit more about Christine. If you can just find the right page. So Christine, as the Gauteng Alumni Chapter Chair of the Stellenbosch Business School, Christine is dedicated to fostering meaningful connections among alumni and advancing the school's mission of excellence in leadership and in education. Christine is currently an executive director at Coaching, Mentoring Education Africa, a social enterprise committed to instilling self-accountability and fostering leadership in various sectors, something we need desperately in society. She also holds a leadership role at Watershed Capital Africa. She holds an MPhil in business management coaching from obvious Stellenbosch Business School and an MBA in strategic marketing from the University of Hull. Christine, really warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Thijs. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this very interesting and prestigious day of your life. To our distinguished guests, our esteemed faculty, our proud family members who are sitting with us celebrating this moment, and most importantly to you, the graduates of the SMDP and the EDP. Welcome to the family of Not, the Stellenbosch family, the Stellenbosch Business and Executive Education family. Being given this opportunity to craft this speech, to reflect and inspire you on this journey has really been something of an honor. And I'm hoping that we can share and we can take away some nuggets out of what everybody is sharing, and particularly from also what I'm going to share with you as a chapter chair for the alumni. It is an honor to be with you today. And I believe that the Stellenbosch Business School and Executive Education is an institution that only nurtures its students and program participants, but it somehow guides and probes your thinking into new roles of self-awakening and self-acceptance, a process that for some is in the present, while for others, it happens as a process along the journey. Why am I saying that? When you're going through the program, when you're going through the learning, the way that Stellenbosch I've experienced, and I believe is still the way you experience, it's guiding your thinking, it's probing you, it's challenging you. And if you are present enough to yourself, the change starts to happen. If you are present enough to achieve the goal and the milestone of achieving the program, the presencing and how that guiding happens will become a journey that happens across your life. And as Dr. Chris has already said, there's quite a lot of things around your life in the present and your life thereafter. And I was smiling and laughing to myself as if we've exchanged some notes somewhere. So it's good that my thinking is aligned to what the head of the business school is looking at. And my time with you this morning is to celebrate you. And at the same time, while celebrating you, is to challenge you with something along what Socrates once said. To know thyself is the beginning of wisdom. So for me, one of the things that I look at is self-awareness. But I'm focusing today on knowing thyself as the beginning of wisdom. Having completed this program that you came, the SMDP or the EDP, you chose Stellenbosch Business School and Executive Education for a reason. What is it that you knew yourself about? You knew you needed that, either because of your career, because of certain evaluations, because of your personal aspirations, because of the challenges, because of wanting to be part of, because of being a self-esteem deliverer, because of somebody who is curious, always wanting to learn. Various reasons came into your mind, and eventually you found yourself enrolling and registering to enjoy this year-long program. Issues that I think in knowing thyself that have probably emerged is the issues around self-leadership, around your legacy, and around impactful integration. Being a firm believer that self-awareness is a must for everyone, but more for the leaders because of the constant spotlight, your board, your teams, your peers, and your community at large, which includes your family, which includes the places that you pass through, the garage where you fuel up, the supermarkets that you go, the beauty places that you go to. All those places that create who you are as a leader is things that we need to constantly have reflections around. Who am I around to myself? How much time do I spend with myself? Am I scared to be with myself? Am I doing my best? What has been my impact so far? Give yourself a 360 degree. It's nice to have come to the program, but what has it done to you in the various facets of your life? What impact do I want to be remembered for? What can I do for and with others as a community to build a legacy that goes beyond the me, myself, and I? In our case, we're looking at our broader community, the Stellenbosch family, the Stellenbosch community, the Alumni Association. We are a prestigious institution known for the academic. We are also a prestigious institution setting the trends for change in the history of where we have come from. And so at times, a lot of challenges that are perceived to be negative come up in the highlight, in the news, but a lot of the times, the good that we do as a community doesn't show up. Why? Because us, the beneficiaries, us, the participants, us, the former program attendees and students of this prestigious business school, we do not come back. We do not come back into the community. We do not come back to think about the legacy of this prestigious learning institution that we have. We need to think about connecting. We need to think about giving back. We need to think about expanding our networks. We are already a very large network and a family that can benefit ourselves. But if we don't join the alumni, and if we don't give back, giving back to the alumni through various community issues, you are in companies that have got impact, that have got influence. What are we doing as leaders of those companies, affiliating and flagging the highest leg or the highest impact institution and what we've learned and what we've benefited? How are we showing that our network is our value, is our net worth? If we don't give back and if we don't come back, many of us are sitting as past students. We don't have networks. If we join the alumni, it becomes easier to get a job. It becomes easier for that NPC or that social change or that social challenge to call on each other and to be able to lean in, as Cheryl Standlebeck said, lean into others. So my appeal to you is, as you graduate, as you celebrate today, as you walk away from this rigorous journey that has actually changed you, consciously and unconsciously, you begin to think around, how do I give back to the community? And I would appreciate if we can start doing social handle for our social media for the Stellenbosch Business School Alumni Association, and hashtag it that we are graduating, that we are going to become part of the impact and movers and changers on these alumni. We have Gauteng, we have a lot of chapters, as Thais has said, across the world. So join a chapter that's close to you and let's start giving back. Let's start making an impact. And in closing, I would like to say, leadership is not about the role you play, but the lives that you touch. Go forth and lead with purpose, courage, and a commitment to making a difference. Join the Alumni Association. Let's make it lasting. Please look out for an email from the Business School Executive Education that will invite you to join. But as I close and say thank you, and again, congratulations for having achieved this very prestigious milestone, I want to leave you with a question. What are people going to say about you when your time as a leader in the workplace has passed? So make impact in the alumni so that you can stretch your hand past the leadership comfort that you are carrying in the corporate, in the workplace. Congratulations, and the journey begins. Let's apply what we've learned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christine. You know, it's so true what you said, that this journey really starts off with self-awareness. I'm also reminded of a quote, and I can't remember who said this, it must have been a wise person, who said that success is not about what you've accumulated for yourself. Success is about the value, the real value that we add to others. And part of this giving away and giving to others is about joining the Alumni Association. So, and you know, if you keep in mind, it's not about what you can get out of it, but it's also what value can you add to it. We are now going to move on to our guest speaker, Vusiwe Nkomo. So Vusiwe is dialing in all the way from India this morning. I initially thought, you know, they're way ahead of us, but they're only about, you know, three odd hours ahead of us. So I don't feel that sorry for Vusiwe anymore. But just by way of introduction, as Vusiwe steps up to the stage, Vusiwe is based in Cape Town. He's the Chief Information Officer at TFG Africa, the Foschini Group, where he has held key leadership roles since 2021. With extensive experience in IT, strategy, enterprise architecture, business process analysis. He also previously served in senior IT roles at Woolworths and at the Clicks Group. Vusiwe holds an MBA from Edinburgh Business School and a Bachelor of Commerce and Information Systems Management from the University of Cape Town. I'd rather not say anything about the University of Cape Town at this point, but his expertise spans across data visualization, business intelligence, and supply chain management, making him a dynamic leader, driving innovation in retail technology. So Vusiwe and I have worked on a couple of projects together where we acted as panel members at the Foschini Group, and I really got to know Vusiwe as an exceptionally sharp interrogator. He has the ability to look at things from a strategic perspective. Vusiwe, welcome. We're looking forward to hear from you.
Thank you for embarrassing me, Thais. But before I officially greet all of you who are gathered online from across our beloved Africa, my beloved Africa, and those in the studio, I would like to extend my thanks to Stellenbosch Business for the pleasure, yay, the privilege of being invited to share some thoughts on what I feel are scant gleanings from my career thus far. With that, a warm welcome to the faculty, facilitators, and alumni and distinguished guests. A hot welcome to partner organizations of SBCS Ed. Thereafter, a very hot welcome to Dr. Chris van der Hoeven, our CEO and for SBC Ed and your SBC Ed team. And finally, a piping hotter than hot welcome to all the graduates and your loved ones who have joined today. It's an absolute honor to chat to you today as you celebrate your incredible milestone. And I'm sure that there were moments along this road where it seemed like it would never end. But congratulations, you did it. Today, we celebrate not just the culmination of a year of hard work, but the beginning of a new chapter for all of you, which will be filled with endless possibilities. You have persevered through late nights, challenging exams, even more challenging colleagues in some group assignments, I'm sure, and maybe mixed into all of that, perhaps a few too many cups of coffee and too many cans of Red Bull. If I could see your faces, I'm sure I would see the remnants of these long nights still etched into some of your foreheads or some of your graying heads. But you have earned this moment and you deserve all the accolades and joy that come with it. Just over a month ago, I came across the story of a humble person, of a humble pencil, which so resonated with me on that day that I there and then made the decision to shamelessly retell it and build my talk around it for today. And I am not going to attribute as APA and Harvard are already on holiday. So no citation and referencing are required today. The story goes, once upon a time, an old pencil maker took his newest pencil aside just before he was about to pack him into a box. Imagining the little fellow as a person, he recalled a few things about the pencil. There are 5 things you need to know, he said to his pencil, before I send you out into the world. Always remember these 5 things, and you will become the best pencil you can be. The first thing is to remember that you will be able to do many great things, but only if you put yourself in someone else's hands from time to time. The second thing you will experience is painful sharpening, but remember that this will make you a better pencil. The third thing to keep in mind is that you'll be able to correct any mistakes you might make along the way. The fourth thing to remember is that the most important part of you is what's on the inside. And finally, the fifth thing to remember is that upon every surface that you are used, you must leave your mark. No matter what else happens, you must continue to write. It seemed the pencil listened to him and promised he would remember these 5 things so that he could live his life with heart and purpose. You see, in life, in your life, put yourself in someone else's hand. Embrace challenges for growth. Learn from mistakes. Value inner qualities and leave a positive mark on the world. And you too can become the best pencil that there is. Going back to those 5 principles and trying to share with you elements from my career or my short life. The first one says, you'll be able to do many great things, but only if you put yourself in someone else's hands from time to time. When we look around at the world, even great people or those we deem as successful, like Bill Gates, he sought advice from Warren Buffett very early on in their friendship. Bill Gates says he learned invaluable lessons on focus and time management, and Warren Buffett taught him and emphasized to him the power of saying no to distractions and on concentrating on what truly matters. And Bill Gates says this approach is what led to his productivity and success. For all of us out there going into the world, we will have opportunity to put our careers, our lives in other people's hands. In my career, I've had the opportunity to place my career into my current boss's hands. I met Jacques de Kock many years ago, probably 15, 16 years ago, as a rookie coming out and in the consulting space. I had the opportunity to spend 10 minutes with him where he asked me what I was doing, and I gave him a very short elevator pitch. After I decided to leave that company, he heard I had left and he was working at the Clicks Group. And he gave me a call and he said, listen, I would really love you to come and join Clicks. I said to him, if you want me to join, you will have to give me a mafia offer. Now, what a mafia offer is, it's an offer which you can't say no to in the same way you cannot say no to the mafia. He had a chuckle and he said, I will do whatever it takes for us to work together. He hired me into Clicks and we spent 7 glorious years working together across a multitude of projects, and I grew a tonload under his tutorship. We both left Clicks at just about the same time, and I went off to Woolworths, as you heard, another retailer, and he went off into the startup ecosystem. 2 years later, or 2.5 years thereafter, he was given the opportunity to join the TFG group and to become a director there. His first course of business during his interview was to tell them that he would really love to work with me again and that TFG should come and have a conversation with me. Shortly thereafter, we had breakfast, and before he had even been hired, he told me, Vusi, I've got an opportunity at TFG. Will you join at the Fushini Group, growing and learning a tonload? If I had not placed my future, or if I had not placed myself in someone else's hands, I don't believe I would have achieved as much as I would have in life. So take the leap and you will reap the benefits. Principle number 2 from the pencil was, you will experience a painful sharpening, but remember that this will make you a better pencil. Someone else in the technology space, Steve Jobs, he exemplified this resilience of learning from his failures. In 1985, after he had started and been running Apple, he was ousted from at Apple, and he went and spent time in the proverbial wilderness, where he went and founded Next and then Pixar. Both of these organizations that he founded during this sharpening phase of his life led him to success much later on. His ability to embrace these setbacks and view them as opportunities for reinvention played a critical role in his triumphant return to Apple and his transformation of the tech industry. And just about all of us today, I am sure, admire what Apple has achieved. In my early career, after having flown a little too close to the sun, I was involved in one of the big transformational projects at Clicks, which went pear-shaped towards the end. It resulted in the company losing close on 20 million rand. And I was running that project and in charge of it from a technology perspective. It was a really dark time, a really tough time for me, having to go through that. Further, just before this project had gone live, I was due to be promoted and to get an executive role. And you can guess, after having such a disaster, questions arose as to my fitness or my readiness at that point in time for the role. Although this happened 9 years ago, in a way, I am very thankful that I suffered the setback that early in my career, because the lessons which I have learned, though very expensive for the company, have shaped the way I have continued to grow and the way I have run technology projects, technology departments ever since. Had I not had that sharpening experience early on, I do not believe that I would have managed to go on to shape a number of areas and tech industry in the manner I have. Point number 3 for the pencil was, you will be able to correct any mistakes you make along the way. We tend to view mistakes which we make as almost irreversible, but we can all be adaptable. We can all iterate. One of the companies which has become a household name for us today is Netflix. And yet in 2011, Netflix announced a very controversial decision back then, which was to separate its DVD rental business, for those who still remember those, and rebrand it as Quickstar from its streaming platform, and it simultaneously increased subscription prices. That move was very poorly communicated and, as you can guess, customer unfriendly. It led to a widespread backlash and the loss of nearly 8,000 subscribers and a very sharp drop in the company's stock price. This prompted Netflix to reverse that decision within a single month. But today, when we look at Netflix, few of us even remember Quickstar, which was the name which they were rebranding to back then. In my career, when I finished school, I decided I wanted to study. And yes, I studied at UCT and not Stellenbosch University. But when I went to study, I took a look at the prospectus and I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I'd known from the time I was probably 10 and I got my first Commodore 64 that I wanted to be in the technology industry. I applied for a BCom and began my BCom in information systems and managerial accounting. And within the first 3 or 4 months, I realized I'd actually registered for the wrong degree. I had actually wanted to do a business science degree, which would have done much more development work and much more of the information technology rather than the general BCom. I faced an option at that point in time that I've made this massive mistake. Do I continue with my BCom or do I take a break for the year and find some other courses which will then allow me to pivot in the next year? The decision I made was made much easier for me in that at the end of the first semester, I was offered a scholarship to continue on my BCom side. The reality is, having taken a look at the way my career has now shaped up, I have no regrets. And that early mistake which I made along the way of registering for the BCom has been erased, in that I have learned so much and I love the industry and I love the space in which I am in. So the mistakes we make, we can adapt and we can iterate. Point number 4 talks about the most important part of you is what is on the inside. One of my favorite organizations in the world is Patagonia, and it is run by its charismatic leader, Yvon Chouinard. I'm probably butchering his name. He is renowned for his unwavering commitment to environmental sustainability. The organization has always had a policy that it donates 1% of its sales to environmental causes. And in 2022, against the advice of many people in the industry, he moved the organization, he transitioned it to only using sustainable materials, sustainable cotton, and disregarding the higher cost. He further decided to restructure Patagonia's ownership to ensure that all the profits that Patagonia makes go towards combating climate change. And this has cemented the company as a model for socially responsible business. Very few people, very few leaders are willing to go to that extent. But for him, the values and integrity, for him, what sits on the inside is what continues to shine the whole time. Going back to the project I mentioned earlier on, which has scarred me for life, as you can guess, even though I learned a ton load from it. So when this challenge and the problem happened and the loss of money happened, I am the one who managed to discover that something had gone drastically wrong with the project. And in my discovering had gone wrong, I had 2 options. The one option was just to keep quiet and pretend nothing has happened and work with my team on resolution, because no one was any the wiser during this project of what had actually happened. The second option for me was to come forward and to state and own up in terms of what I had discovered and what I believed was the issue, and face potential consequences. The decision I took was to go ahead and go and have the conversation with our internal audit team and let them know exactly what had happened. I was then roped in to further help with understanding and unraveling this and really trying to quantify correctly what had happened in the project. As a result of my initially going forward to them, 2 members of my team got suspended, and I continued helping with the forensic investigation. At the conclusion of the investigation, I was then also suspended. I will not say it was an easy time for me, and such times make you almost begin to question your own integrity and what you want to stand for, that stuff which is sitting on the inside. During all the hearings which then happened, various witnesses were called, people in the organization were called. And in all this, on one of the most crucial days where I gave my evidence, the HR team that evening called me and they said they had a very urgent request, or a request of me. And they said to me that though they had been doing the recording, the recorder had not worked. So they did not have a recording of the day and what had transpired. And would I be willing to please write the minutes for what had transpired during the examination and cross-examination on the day? I will not say I was not tempted for a moment to fudge the minutes, because once again, there was no evidence. But once again, it's about that question, that what is on the inside, what truly drives you. At the conclusion of the hearings, I was found guilty, as I should have, because I was the main person on the project. But our director of HR came to me and she posed the question to me that, given everything which has transpired, why did you take accountability and not throw in inverted commas, your boss and the head of the merchandise area under the bus, because it is clear that they were actually accountable for this. And my viewpoint remained that the reason I didn't do that is because of the stuff on the inside. I will always take responsibility for what it is that I've done. And I was asked that, what is it which drives that sort of thinking for me? And I said, there's a quote which I love, which I have had for most of my life. And the quote says, "The greatest want of the world is the want of men. Men who will not be bought or sold. Men who in their inmost souls are true and honest. Men who do not fear to call sin by its right name. Men whose conscience is as true duty as the needle to the pole. Men who will stand for the right though the heavens fall." Point number 5 said, "Upon every surface that you are used on, you must leave your mark. No matter what else happens, you must continue to write." It is almost as though Chris and Christine and I had a conversation about certain elements of our talks today, because the resume versus eulogy example, the what are you going to leave in this world example, what will people think of you, is classic, and that's what I wanted to talk about here. In this example, I thought of Howard Schultz, who runs Starbucks. He has transformed Starbucks into a global brand while pioneering employee-centric policies, like being the first company to offer health insurance and stock options to all its part-timers. He has been a champion for ethical sourcing, for community engagement, for social initiatives, setting a new standard for corporate social responsibility in the retail industry. The question for all of you is, what is that legacy you are going to leave? For me, that legacy a lot revolves around education. From my earliest days through to varsity, where I bunked tons of lectures to go and teach at one of the local schools which lacked teachers in certain subjects, to mentoring young Black talent. This has been a passion for me and will remain a passion. All of us need to find that thing which resonates with us, which we will be remembered for. As you step out into the world, remember that this qualification is not just a piece of paper. It is a symbol of the knowledge and skills you have acquired, and the responsibility you now bear is to use them wisely. The world is calling out for ethical, impactful leaders, leaders who are not afraid to challenge the status quo, to innovate and to inspire. As you continue on your journey, remember that the journey of learning doesn't end today. In fact, it begins anew each and every day. The world is changing at an unprecedented pace, and to thrive in this dynamic environment, you must embrace lifelong learning. Consider this achievement of yours not as a destination, but as a stepping stone on a path of continuous growth and discovery. The road ahead may be filled with challenges, but I have no doubt that you have been equipped well enough to navigate them with creativity, resilience, and with the unwavering support of your Stellenbosch alumni, I am sure you will be a success. Embrace the unknown, seize the opportunities that come your way, and never stop striving for excellence. Stellenbosch Business School's stated mission is to develop responsible leaders who positively impact society through transformative learning and knowledge advancement. As you step out into the world, armed with the knowledge and skills you have gained, I challenge you to embrace the spirit of this mission. Purpose in your heart, purpose in all your hearts, to be responsible leaders who actively seek opportunities to make a positive impact on society through transformative leadership and knowledge advancement. It seemed the pencil listened to him and promised he would remember these 5 things so that he could live his life with heart and purpose. You see, in life, in your life, put yourself in someone else's hand. Embrace challenges for growth. Learn from mistakes. Value inner qualities and leave a positive mark on the world. And you too can become the best pencil there is. In conclusion, congratulations once again. I am immensely proud of each and every one of you and wish you all the best in your futures. Thank you.
Wow. Rosie, that was absolutely brilliant. Ladies and gents, can I ask you to please all unmute and please let us give Rosie a round of applause.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bossy.
Thanks, Bossy.
Rosie, thank you very, very much.
Thanks,
can I
Bossy.
ask you, ladies and gents, to please just mute yourself again? If you can all please just mute yourselves again. Rosie, I've listened to a lot of people make speeches, and it's been a long time. I can't think of ever, perhaps, where I've heard someone tell this story so beautifully and so authentically. So, I'm certainly going to remember the story of the pencil. Ladies and gents, so we're getting to that time of the morning where we are actually getting to the virtual presentation of your certificates and the awards, of course. This morning, the names of all those who have successfully completed the various programs will be read out and then displayed on the screens. This will be followed by the announcement of the top team, and then after that, the top student in that group. So maybe just a quick word around that. So the Director's Award goes to the top student. This award is awarded to that student who has achieved the highest mark with the individual assignments that they have completed on the programs. The top team award on all our programs at SBS Ed. The participants are required to work in teams on various projects. I know on the Senior Management Development Program, they have to adopt either a NGO or small, medium-sized enterprise, and then work with that organization on a strategic project. Now, the fact that they're adding value to that organization is immense. That's really what it's about. But in this process, they also have to learn to work together as peers, which is, as you can imagine, highly complex. In the work environment, we have a hierarchy, and we have those in power that can give instructions. In this syndicate environment, we don't have that. So it is about one's ability to influence, very much about applying the things that Christine, Chris, and Vuzi has spoken about. So that's the top team award. Let me just see, so just in terms of the order, so we're going to start off with the senior management program. If I remember, I think we have 4 or 5 cohorts, and then we have a single executive development program cohort as well. At this point, I'm going to ask Kevin to join me on this virtual stage. But maybe, again, Kevin also looking smashing there in his maroon golf shirt. I know Kevin is going off to the golf course straight after this. As a matter of fact, I can see he's already got his golf shoes on there and the bubbly on the side. Kevin, maybe just by way of introduction, Kevin is always the first one that will admit that he comes from very humble beginnings. grew up in the flats, studied to be a teacher, worked as a teacher for a good couple of years in the areas where he grew up, went on to study psychology, and then went into the real world of work. So worked in practice, works at the Stellenbosch Business School at this stage as the program designer, and Kevin does a sterling job. I think he brings that background of the psychology into his design of the programs. So all the programs that you've been on, certainly, Kevin, that's part of Kevin's job. So Kevin, we look forward to listening to you.
Thank you so much, Tace, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On Tuesday, I also had to speak after the keynote speaker, and I was in awe. I was speechless, and I think I'm going to speak to our marketing team that in future, please don't let me speak after such a brilliant speaker. It's almost like whatever else is going to happen, it's not going to matter. I must admit, Vusi, being the sharpest pencil in the box has just got a new meaning for me, and I'm sure for many of the other participants and people on our call or in the session this morning as well. However, ladies and gentlemen, let me get into what I'm supposed to be doing. And my role is just to acknowledge the faculty and the RPFs that we partner with at Stellenbosch Business School Executive Development. In fact, it is Warren Buffett who said a partnership is not a legal contract between two equal individuals. It's an emotional alliance between two people who are committed to each other's success. And certainly, when we think of our faculty and we think of our LPF, the learning process facilitators, we recognize that we are those two parties getting together, and we are really committed to each other's success. And so on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to acknowledge and extend our appreciation to our faculty. Your loyalty, your commitment, always being willing to go the extra mile for our participants is highly appreciated. Your feedback and being open to the feedback from our side is what helps us to continue to design programs that remains relevant and addresses the issues that our participants and our clients need help with. So from everyone at SBS Ed, our CEO, everyone else in our exco, our board, and all of us working with you, we would just like to say a huge thank you for the part that you play in making today a success. And so therefore, we're celebrating the success of our participants, and by no means are we saying that we're not celebrating your success, because our participant success is in essence your success as well. And on that note, Tace, I think it's time for us to get busy with the real agenda of the day. Thank you, and over back to you.
Right, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, getting going with the right stuff. So, ladies and gents, before we get going with the right stuff, I am going to ask you to please turn on your cameras. And as our participants, as their names are come across the screen, please unmute yourself at that point and then go wild. We want to get calls from the neighbors complaining about the noise. Go wild. Before we get to that, though, let me just tell you, we're going to start with the senior management program, as I mentioned. So let me just tell you a little bit more about what this program entails. So I've been fortunate to have been the learning process facilitator, as Kevin mentioned. Just in terms of, I mentioned we had the 5 senior management development program intakes this year. So across these 5 intakes, we had 185 participants from 7 countries. I know we've had people from Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Eswatini, Namibia. So I think that's about all 7, and of course South Africa, and then across 16 industries as well. So this is one of the unintended outcomes of this program, is about the ability to build these very, very powerful networks that we trust will continue into the alumni network as well. So I want to tell you a little bit about the senior management program. So the senior management program is intended for those people, those leaders who make the transition from operational management into strategic thinking. So for many, this is a very, very difficult transition. Most of us grew up in an organization where we're very used to doing the operational stuff, and we're very good at that. And when we make that transition into strategy, it is quite a mind shift, because now we are required, or one is required, to take time out to think. And I always maintain that really the purpose of all of our programs, but specifically the senior management program, is about thinking, taking time out to think about our thinking, and of course then to start thinking strategically. So what do we mean with strategic thinking? Is about seeing the organization within the context of this world and in the context of the society that we work and live in. If I think about the comments that Vusi made and Christine made earlier, that really is the essence of a good leader. It's about the value that we add to society and not what we can get for ourselves. So that, in essence, at broad strokes, that's what the senior management program is about. I'm sure those who have been through the program would say that it entails a whole lot more. And you are right, it does. As I mentioned earlier, I was also very fortunate to have been the learning process facilitator on this program. So the role of the learning process facilitator is really that of a coach. So we, as far as possible, build relationships with individuals, with the teams, to help them make sense of all this theory that they've been exposed to, and to look at how one can apply it. And I think that's one of the beauties of the Stellenbosch Business School Executive Development business model. That's a mouthful. Part of that business model is about, so it's founded, the learning is founded in theory and academics, but it's much more about our ability to apply that in practice. And that, in essence, is the role of the learning process facilitator. Okay, that's enough waffling from me now. So I think let's commence then with the procession of the Senior Management Development Program. Please remember, unmute yourselves, go wild. Thank you.
Well done.
Well done.
Congratulations, brother.
Well done, everyone.
Well done, everyone.
Well done, everyone.
Well done.
Woohoo! Well done, Kanya. Well done.
Tanya. Ichi.
Go, Richard.
Vicky.
Well done, Darich. Well done, Tanzan.
Arich.
Well done, Roshni.
Well done, Roshin.
Kushini.
Well done, Roshin.
And well done, Frederick.
Yes.
Well done, Samina. Samina. Well done, Sam. Yeah.
Well done, Glad.
Woohoo! Well done.
Well done, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
FD. Well done, Andrew.
Well done, Andrew.
Well done, Andrew. Congratulations, Andrew. Well done, like. Wow.
Oh.
And Lord Shitters.
Well done,
Well
everyone.
done.
Done, guys.
Well done, guys.
Well done. Done, guys.
Nice job.
Well done,
Wow.
Louis. Wow.
Well done, Arnold.
Nice one, Louis.
Wow.
Louis.
Congratulations.
Well done, Natalie. Woo!
Well done, Reynard. Well done, Reynard.
Well done,
Eric.
Well done, Eric.
Well done, John.
Well done, Victor.
Like a fight.
Well done, Leon.
Leon.
Well done, Stephanus. Well
Bonnie.
done, Stephanus. Well done, Stephanus. Well done, Lucille.
Well done, Lucille.
Well done,
Well done,
Lucille. Well done, Anton.
Okay.
Well done, Greg. Well done, Greg. Well done, Greg. Well done, Greg.
Well done, Bella.
Well done, Alicia.
Yeah.
And Edwina. Janelle. Well done, Janelle. Well done, Karen.
Well done, team.
Woohoo!
Well done.
That's good.
Tally. Well done, everyone. Well done, Fortune.
Yay.
Well done.
Well done.
It's perfect.
Well done, Candace. Hey, well done.
Done, Julia.
Yeah.
Julia.
Henry. Well done, Henry.
Come on.
Right.
Dylan.
Well done, Stephanus.
Well done, Jerry.
Jeffrey.
Done, Jeff.
Done, Jerry.
Dan Zodra. Dan Zodra. Well done, Cecilia.
Yeah, well done.
Kevin.
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 Correct.
Michael.
Well done, Michael.
Yeah.
Well done, Michael. Lizo. Well done, Lizo.
Well done, team. Everyone. Well done, high five. Well done.
Well done, high five.
Well done, high five.
Well done.
Wow, amazing.
Congratulations, Natalie. Well done.
Done, Julia.
And Julia, well done. done, everyone.
Well done, Natalie and Julia.
Well done, Alex.
Well done, Alex.
Well done, Alex.
Bonita. Good girl.
Well done.
Waited.
Well done, Clayton. Nasima. Congratulations, Nasima.
Cool.
Well done.
Congrats, my man.
Go Wayne. Well done. Congrats, Wayne.
Justin,
Well done. Well done.
Well done.
Sophie.
Pascal.
Dan Andre. Well done, Sean.
Well done, Sean.
Tony.
Sean. Well done, buddy. Well done, buddy.
Thank you.
Well done, Ayanda. Well done, Ayanda.
Well done, Ayanda.
Well done, Danny.
Well done, Danny.
Well done, Well done, team.
Well done, you.
Cheers.
Well done,
Well
Bert.
Well done.
Well done.
Stefan.
Well done, Daniel.
Daniel. Well done. Congratulations.
Well done, Andre. Well done, Andre. Nice one, Andre.
Wow.
Well done, Oscar.
Oscar.
Well done, Dominic.
Well done, Dominic.
And Dom.
Bandile.
Well done, Lana.
Well done, Lana.
Well done, Lana. Well done, just do it.
Do it. Just do it. Do it.
Just do it.
Nice one.
Well done, Sinclair. Congratulations.
Done.
Well done, man.
Well done, guys.
The guy with the glasses all the time. What I said.
Well done.
Well done, Taban.
Hey, well done, Taban. Hey, finish it.
Zippo.
Well done, Zippo. Well done.
Well done. Well done, Kitu. Hey, well done. Bui.
Well done, Bui.
Well done, Bui.
All right, Isa.
It's on me.
Well done, Elan.
Well done. Well done, Sharon.
Well done, well done. Well done, Sando.
Sando.
Well done, Yoga.
Yoga Nathan.
Nice one.
Fabiani.
Well done, Sirisha.
Well done, Sini.
Well done,
Bugiwe! Well done,
Bugiwe.
Jangan sama.
Super proud of you, Misha. All deserved.
Second mother Megs.
Well done,
Well done, Zonke.
Yes, definitely. Guys.
Well done.
Well done, Ronnie.
Well done, guys. Well done,
Well done, team.
Come on.
You ready?
Well done, Megan.
Sure.
Congratulations.
You get those vouchers from Miss Megan. Well done.
Done, Megan.
Well done, Megan.
Again.
Well done, Kish. See ya. Ah, sure, internet, sure.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Sure.
Well done,
Shane.
Well done, Shane. Penelope.
Go Penelope.
Well done, Jonas.
Well done, Jan.
Where you on?
Well done.
Well done.
Sure.
Yay, Elna. Well done, Elna.
Jean-Pierre.
Well done, Jean-Pierre.
Well done, well done.
We'll give it.
Well done.
Canoline.
Well done.
Well done.
Imran.
Well done.
Wait, digging.
Angelo.
Well done.
Pleasure.
Lekker, lekker.
Frederick. Well done, Hein.
Hey, Nazim.
Well done, Nazim.
Well done.
Well done.
Looking sharp there, Nazim.
Well done, Craig.
Craig.
Well, Craig.
Fabio.
Well, Fabio.
Well done.
Well done, Hussein.
Well done, Bee.
Well done, Daniel.
And Daniel.
Daniel.
It's
Well done, love.
In the house. Well done. Good enough. Well done. Good enough. Oh, good enough. Oh.
Well done. Well done, Mel.
Hey, Sichuga.
Well done.
Well done.
Well done.
Yeah.
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 Yay.
Done unto him.
My darling. Damien.
Oh, yeah.
Well done.
Hey, KG, sure, man. Well done, brother. Well done. Yes, sir.
Well done, Renan.
Well done, buddy. Well done. Looking sharp. Nice one.
Congratulations.
Lawrence.
Well done, Lord.
Well done, Lawrence. What time is it? Tea time, Lawrence. Well done, Carl.
Well done, Carl.
Go. Well done, man.
Nice.
Well done, Florence.
Well done, Flo.
They sit well.
Bhavani is doing well.
Well done,
Thank you, sir.
Well done, Solo.
Well done.
Well done, Ben.
Well done, Nicola.
Well done, Doctor.
Oh,
Team.
Nice.
nice one. Nice one. Yeah.
Well done, guys.
Well done.
Well done, guys.
Wow.
Well done, Kishan.
Congratulations.
Well
Well done,
done.
Kishan.
Congratulations. Nice one. Nice one.
Well done.
Nice one. Hey, doctor. Nice one. Nice one. Congratulations.
Well done, Craig.
Well done, Craig and Kishan. Well done.
Well done.
Oh, sure, class, sure.
Well done.
Well done, everyone. Well done. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Well done. Congratulations to all those SMDP people, all the top students. It's well deserved. To those teams, yeah, it was absolutely well deserved. Congratulations to all of you. As I said earlier, the fact that you get a 75% or 85 or 58 for that matter, always besides the point. It really is about the learning you got, the learning you took out of this program. Going to move on to the EDP. So before I ask Kevin to say a word or two, perhaps just some stats around the executive development program. Kevin will give you some more context about the program, what it's about, and then also introduce Shane to you. So on this program this year, we had the one intake, the single intake, as I mentioned. We had 61 participants, 5 countries, 13 industries. Again, like I said earlier, with a senior management program, the amount of relationships and networks one build on a program such as this is just phenomenal, and it goes way beyond the actual program. I'm now going to ask Kevin just to step up to the podium and to give us some greater context to what this executive development program is all about. Kevin, over to you.
Thank you so much, Thijs, and from my side as well to all the recipients of certificates for the SMDP, well done and congratulations. We certainly hope that we will see you on some of our other programs as we continue and you continue in your development as well. The Executive Development Program, we would like to see as our flagship program, and there's a couple of reasons of why that is important to us. At Stellenbosch Business School, we are quite serious about developing responsible leaders for South Africa, the African continent, and beyond. And so therefore, we brought this particular program into being to help us address those kind of issues as well. So from a purpose kind of point of view, the program supports the need for executives to appreciate a global perspective and an understanding of global markets. Also, it enables the participants then to apply cognitive and adaptive thinking to support strategic leadership decisions, whilst at the same time, it will equip them to deploy creative workforce strategies in order to enhance workforce diversity, as well as organizational performance. Excuse me for a minute. And so if we look at the program in its context, you have seen the numbers that we have attracted for 2024. And so those individuals were then also divided into syndicate teams. And like Thijs mentioned earlier on the EDP, also the participants had to be successful and to be successful at receiving their certificates. They had to complete 4 individual assignments, 2 of them with a very strong reflective flavor to it, as well as do a group project within the context of a particular industry as well. And so when we celebrate the achievement of our delegates this morning on the EDP, it is literally around the successes in those 4 assignments, as well as the group project. Thijs mentioned earlier on, when he referred to the SMDP, that group project is particularly significant as they are journeying on the program. It's about navigating, leading with your peers. It's about navigating, influencing your leadership or your leadership competence as well. Now, for the last 3 years on the MDP, we have incorporated another value add on the EDP. And the reason for that has been that we are quite mindful historically in South Africa in particular, all of us didn't always have the opportunity to pursue tertiary studies. And one of the ways in which we at Stellenbosch Business School Executive Development would like to add value is to ensure that we have this recognition of prior learning agreements in place for our delegates and our participants. And so on the SMDP, we are thankful that we could partner with the University of Free State as well as the Lincoln University in the UK. And then also on the EDP, at successful completion, we know that our participants would be eligible to get some credits towards a postgraduate diploma at the business school as well, provided that they meet the minimum criteria towards that particular qualification. And I think that's one of the ways that we at SBS Ed would like to contribute in the development of our leadership as well. Having mentioned that, I think it's important to understand that a program like this requires a lot of reflection and thinking as we want to develop the leadership with a global perspective. And one way that we do that is to ensure the services of an executive coach in the form of, and the title we give is the Executive Leadership Integrator. For 2024, the Executive Leadership Integrator has been Shane Johansson, and Shane has been working as an executive coach within the field of coaching and coaching development, and it's such a pleasure to be working with this gentleman, and I'm sure that the delegates will testify to the value that he has added in their journey. And so here this morning to share some of his insights, share some of the work that is done with the delegates on the EDP, I would like to welcome Shane Johansson to the podium as he shared with us. Before Shane takes over, just a huge congratulations to all of the delegates that will receive the certificates this morning, and we wish you well on your continued journey of leadership development. Thank you, Shane.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kevin. I think this year's cohort really saw students from all over South Africa and Southern Africa coming together at Harsendal for our first block in a very icy cold and very wet June. The work in the business environment of the executive is a demanding and a very busy one. And as we know, they bear the weight of every decision that they make as it impacts not only their business, but also the greater world. I think what impressed me so much this year about this cohort was really just the humility that I saw in their demeanor from the very first day that they stepped in. I also really enjoyed the lighthearted nature of the group. I think a leader who can keep a cool head while everyone else is losing theirs and blaming it on you, I think it's a mark of a really strong, seasoned leader, and we had many of those in our cohort this year. Their commitment to immerse themselves in the content and also their group projects, I think, has been absolutely exemplary. In fact, faculty also commented on the conversations in class with participants often willing to push back, to press in for a more pragmatic and satisfying answer to their real-world challenges. And I think this is what we expect from leaders at the highest level. At the same time, they didn't stand back from the challenges that were presented to them in class. And I noticed that this began with accepting the very diverse groups that they were put in. And then sometimes also the lesson desired results and assignments that they got. It's quite different to write academically, but all the way through to delivering, really valuable projects, which have already actually begun to change the world we're in. I think they're wrestling with and embracing exemplary ethics on very material matters. It's not only encouraging for me to see, but also really strengthening in a world which often sets a much lower standard than I think should be acceptable. I've been so impressed with the way that they've integrated the theme of responsible leadership and sustainability, not only in their writing, but I've noticed also in their personal lives, and this came through beautifully in the individual reflective essays. The place where I think all good leadership begins is in private. Africa contains about 40% of the world's natural resources, with a little over 1 million leaders actually stewarding this on this continent. And I think if this class is a sample of the kind of leaders that we have at this level in business in South Africa at this time, then I think Africa has an ever brighter future which beckons to it. And so well done to all of you for making this milestone. And with that, I'd like to hand back over to Tace.
There we go. Shane, thank you very much. We had a bit of a struggle with technology. I've got a helper here. We clearly don't pay him enough. But nevertheless, Shane, well done. Thank you very much again. We are now going to start with the EDP procession, and without any further ado. Thank you.
Hey,
Congratulations. Well done.
Well Anthony.
Well done.
Abby.
That's Renee. Well done, Ruben. John Phillip.
St. John. Go big. Go. On. Congratulations. Oh, PK.
Well done. Well done.
Kulani.
That's my dad. Oh, well done. Well done, Mommy. Well done, Ben.
Well done, Vanessa.
done, Junaid.
Well done, Junaid.
Congratulations, Kanye.
Well done, Thomasine.
Well done.
Good job, Natalie.
Natalie, well done.
Sandile.
Well done.
Yeah, Bono.
Well done, Everett.
Congratulations, David.
Well done. Elton, well done.
Well done, Elton.
Fantastic stuff.
That is all.
Well done. Well done, everyone.
Guys, well done.
Well done,
guys. Well done. Thanks, guys. Well done, team.
I have an opportunity to just talk a little bit about the top team and how they arrived at where they are. And, I think at the EDP level, the focus for the BDAL really shifts to this responsible leadership and sustainability. At the strategic level, syndicates are required to identify an existing product causing systemic harm to the earth and to find a solution that impacts very positively upon the sustainability goals of the UN for 2030. And within this, there's also an opportunity for creating a circular economy in areas which previously were very much linear. Furthermore, they need to find a sustainable financing option, which also has an ongoing positive systemic impact. I think as Patrick Lencioni talks about the qualities necessary to an aligned executive team really excel, trust, conflict, commitment, accountability, and results. And the top team this year not only fulfilled this mandate in an exemplary fashion, but they also worked very cohesively and synergistically as a team. It's no small feat, given the demands that the executives are faced with on a daily basis. It was exciting to see that at least 2 of their syndicate members also used the knowledge that they'd gained in their projects to also begin initiatives personally, privately within their businesses and work environments, which is now having a very positive impact upon the SDGs and also the community. And so Team Kataza, we salute you. Well done. And we'd love to see just, that success going, and reaching out into the world beyond this program. I also have the joy of being able to just talk and introduce the top student without putting any names up. But the top student this year really exemplified servant leadership, had an energy that was not only contagious, but also effortlessly served the syndicate group, pulling the group together, keeping them organized and on track and on pace. From the get-go, the student has been super intentional in showing up with presence, and working to realize outstanding results both in class, in the assignments, and also within the syndicate meetings. I think showing up as a head girl is no small feat for most, yet when it is who you are, there's a grace and an energy that delivers exceptional value to all that they're engaged. So today we acknowledge these qualities in our top students, and also now at the EDP level. Done. Congratulations. Well done.
Congratulations,
Hey, whoa! Well done.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Well done.
I'd like to actually invite Claire just to say a word or two. Claire?
Unmute.
Oh, we can't hear you, Claire. I don't know if you're still on mute.
She's so excited and muted.
Oh dear. We still can't hear you. Technology not being helpful. It was actually so notable, I would often, I feel like good leadership is often the first to arrive and often the last to leave. And I try to get there first on every single morning, but I was beaten by Claire. She beat me to it every time, so much so that I decided I must bring her a coffee to salute her. So Claire, thank you. If you can say a few words for us, that'd be lovely.
Sorry, Shane, can you hear me now?
We hear you clearly, thank you.
Oh, okay, great. Sorry. As many know, I don't enjoy public speaking, but on the EDP, I had such a fantastic group that really supported me. And I'm just a bit overwhelmed at the moment. And it was absolutely an incredible and transformative journey, not only personally for me and professionally as well. I think, if I may, Shane, I would just like to thank a few people that have really walked this journey with me. Firstly, I want to thank God for really giving me the strength and guidance and perseverance over the last couple of months. It's been a tough one, obviously with everything going on. And then to my incredible rock, my incredible husband, Arashad, for the love and support that he's given me during this journey. As many know, I have a few kids, so it was quite hectic at times. And then to my incredible team, they have worked and walked alongside of me each and every day and have stood in for me many, many times. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And then to the amazing EXCO team for believing in me and supporting me on this journey, I thank you so much. And then to Katuza, wow, the countless hours we spent together was absolutely amazing. I couldn't wait for every Friday session. I must be honest with you. The wealth and knowledge that was shared amongst us is just incredible. The way I have personally and professionally developed just from being around you all. So thank you for that. And then Shane, absolutely my support to the EDP, always saying, you can do this, you're going to do it, you're going to be okay. Thank you for that, Shane. And to the faculty, they were absolutely amazing on this journey. And yeah, I look forward to it. I'm very excited to really apply the knowledge that I've learned and even to make a greater impact going forward. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Claire, and well done. And as we can see that while she doesn't like public speaking, she does a fantastic job at it. So Claire, we look forward to you doing more of that going forward. And congratulations to you all, to the whole EDP group, Team Kutaza, Claire, and let me hand over back to Tace again.
Thank you very much, Shane. Congratulations to the team, and Claire, a very warm congratulations from my side as well. We now know that you can do public speaking, and when we do the future launches of SMDPs, we'll certainly expect you to now start doing that. Wonderful. Can we have, ladies and gents, unmute and let's do one last cheer. Unmute, one last cheer.
Well
done. There's a baby team in there as well. All right, ladies and gents, we've now come to the end of our proceedings, and it only leaves us. I shouldn't have had that whiskey. It only now leaves us with the final conclusions and the end of our proceedings. So it's time to take a deep breath, slow down, and then to transition out of the process at the end of the event. So final congratulations once again. And before we say our goodbyes, a couple of final thanks and tributes and farewells from our side. No order of importance. I think firstly, to Kerry, marketing team, Kerry, you guys have done a fantastic job. Again, like you have all previous years. I know this is the toughest 2.5 hours of your day. But yeah, I'm sure you're going to have a bit of, well, whatever tickles your fancy after. But very well done to the marketing team. To all the people, the program managers back at the business school, you know, you are really the backbone of these programs. So Kevin, with the program design, you are all doing a phenomenal job. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to Paul and the team at Anderson Studios for hosting us once again. And yeah, ladies and gents, I think that formally and finally then brings us to the end of the official proceedings. It leaves me then just to thank you again to all the companies who have trusted us, to the individuals who have trusted us with your learning. We are forever grateful for that. Please remember again, like our speakers have said previously, this program is not the end of the journey. This is not the final destination. This is just the start of a learning program and a learning process. So we hope to see you again back at our campus, virtual campus, soon. Enjoy the rest of the day. We have spoken to your companies. You are allowed to take the rest of the day off. Go and have a pub lunch now, if we still do that. But, you know, have a bit of sparkly. Enjoy the day. And I want to wish you a blessed day forward. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Thank you, Tay.
Thank you, everybody. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.